Ovation of the Seas is leaving for Hobart, Tasmania this afternoon, and from there on to Adelaide in South Australia and then back to Sydney. 8 nights in all. And would you believe, Lorraine and Adrian are here as well.
I'm on the balcony of our room. We'll go through and have a look at the cabin. Everything's very modern. It's a bit like Las Vegas. It's all very comfortable. We've got a big telly and there's a couple of wardrobes. We've got coffee making in the fridge, plenty of drawer space. We haven't got luggage yet, have we?
Trying to sort out the electrics.
Good.
All these different plugs and things.
Yeah. Bathroom. It's not big, but quite nice. I've been in a lot worse than this one. You don't get shower hats and shampoos and toiletries in this one. You've got to bring your own. This is an absolute frenzy of buying. But we're just going to look at the bionic drink making machine.
We're in the Theatre Royal at the moment. They're just finishing off a talk show for people going to different stops. They had the films in here and all the shows, but sadly all the shows are booked out, so we won't be seeing any shows in here, but never mind. Oh, okay.
5 years time ago. Where was that?
I'll hear everything you said. This is the Rock-In Burger. It's not a real truck, but it looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Looks like it's backed right into the wall.
It's all right, you're not in it, don't worry. So what now? Lots of flex. The dodging cars, yeah.
I think they'd have it going all day, wouldn't it? There's many people.
Yeah, it's a bit quiet, isn't it? Oh, the water goes uphill. Oh. she'd done this before. Come on, girl, keep going. You could ring the bell, and then if you go to the top, you ring the second bell. Not sure what this is, but it's quite cute, isn't it? Would you like to give us an opinion of this ship on the second day?
I wouldn't come on it again.
You realise I might edit this bit out. Why wouldn't you come again, love?
I think it's just too big. Too many people.
It's a bit overwhelming actually because, yeah, we've been used to around 2,000 and this is 4,000.
Yeah. And they haven't got enough amenities to cope for everybody.
They're doing pretty good. They're like keeping sort of law and order, but everything you have to pre-book or reserve. Or
yeah. It takes too long to get from one deck to another.
That's right. And now we've had a good whinge, we'll get on with the rest of the tour.
Right.
I think it's just going straight up and down. Right? Not a big balcony, but quite comfortable. Nice lounge, stool for your weary feet. We're about halfway down to Tassie at the moment. That's the lifeboats down. Oh, sorry, tenders. That's the tender deck down there, looking towards the stern. We're just coming into the wharf at Hobart. It's Saturday morning, a little bit before 7 o'clock. We've been sitting watching the map where we are, although of course we do know where we are. We've been laying in bed watching out the window.
We're having a morning cup of tea, and this is the only way to come into port.
Definitely.
To lie in bed and look out the door.
We've actually had the door open all night, and it's been lovely fresh breeze coming through.
17 degrees, and back home it's about 44, so
Yeah.
big difference.
And it's only 35% humidity, so completely different. Looks like the Navy's here for some reason, probably a bit of R&R, and I think we're going to tie up at the same wharf we did last time. We're at Salamanca Markets now, looking up towards Battery Point. All very familiar territory for Lorraine and I. Certainly getting a bit crowded. It's grown a lot since the last time we were here, which was around 20 odd years ago. It's probably about 3 times the size. Although a lot of it's still similar to what you see in any market. A lot of it's still locally made and handcrafted, and it's quite interesting. And that's coming from somebody that detests markets. Is that right, Doug?
You what?
Detests markets.
Yeah, must be alright then.
Steel string guitar that was priced by the door.
Still in Salamanca Markets, very old warehouses either side of us, and new units at the end there.
Laughing and running, skipping and jumping in the misty morning.
He's a typical Tasmanian.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
He's got two heads.
He's probably an import.
Exactly. Like everybody here.
That's right.
Slipping and a sliding all around the waterfall with you. Brown-eyed girl.
Here we have the Young Endeavour alongside, our home away from home. This is the stern end of the James Craig. And down the end of the wharf there you can just see the mast of the Tenacious, which is a ship visiting from the UK. The good old James Craig, down here earning a bit of money to pay for its upkeep. This is the toilet on the ferry, on the Mona 2. Would you believe there's two doors there? Looks a bit spooky, doesn't it?
You okay on the back?
Yeah, we're fine,
Yeah,
darling.
good. We're almost at the end. You just got the one page. Oh, look at you. Where are we?
At the museum. It's pretty big, isn't it?
Chickens. Stuck in a hole where some grapes. What's that going out? I think going out, not coming out. Well, I've seen it. Yeah. What a day of
The building, a lot of the buildings are constructed out of bare metal. They've just been left to rust. Anyone for tennis?
So entrance is straight ahead.
This place is going to be weird. Really weird.
I think it's going to be fun.
It will be fun, yeah. It'll be great.
Actually, the closer you get, the thinner you get.
The funnier you get, that's right.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh. We've just come into the entry of the museum. All this rock's been cut out. To the right there, it goes up quite high, and then the building's been built alongside it and over it. I've just been into the toilet, and you go in there and there's a video playing on the floor, which instantly you think's a hole in the floor, but it's not, of course. So you go inside and settle down to your business, and then all of a sudden the lights go out, and you think, oh gosh. A few seconds later they come back on again, and then you can get out of the place. It's quite strange. That's a bit special. It's drops of water get blasted out with different words. New South Wales, Black, Severe, Sydney, Strip, Citizenship, Southern, Travel. I don't know how that works, but it's really clever. This is the top of the fountain, or shall we say the word fountain, and it's a bit easier to see from this angle. You can pick out the words quite easily. I'll leave it to you to try and work out what it's saying. It's very, very clever. What's he say? Don't touch it. Don't touch. This is weird, folks. This is really weird.
American comics, I think.
What are they, look?
American comics.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look at one.
Yeah. That one.
1903, wow. That's a good one. This is the library, waiting for you to write whatever you think's appropriate. They're all just blank books. Even the stuff on the table is waiting for you to write. Don't ask me what this is. It's a man with a big nose, and he has to breathe through his mouth. What do you think, Lane?
I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure either.
It's different.
Now that's a model of a Mercedes-Benz, and up there is a sculpture of a person that's been hung up like a pig.
Is it a chicken or a person?
It's a person. I'm sure it's a person. Two cheeseburgers, French fries, onion rings, coleslaw, fried okra, a pint of Rocky Road ice cream, a quart of milk and 2 Diet Cokes. There you have it. The work that's gone into this building is quite extraordinary. It's a massive building. You don't really appreciate how big it is until you start to move around. Back to the guy with the big nose. I'm not sure what he's up to now.
Maybe he's the owner.
Yeah, he might be the owner. Who is this? Some strange woman. We're coming up out of the dungeons, back to the surface. The guy must have spent an absolute fortune on this place. It's just huge, and the infrastructure is top stuff. All this balustrading, or railings, whatever you want to call it, is solid steel, solid cast fabricated steel. Just left to rust. Great big steel panels go right down to the ground. This is a quiet area where people are just sitting and contemplating things. I guess they can have shows and stuff like that around here. Lorraine's having a sit and contemplating things there. I think she's getting into the grip of this place.
Maybe that's going to be the pad where they say, beam me up, Scotty, because there's a hole in the roof.
It's directly under the hole in the ceiling, in the roof, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe that's why you fly up. When you're
Fly
up
up to the Never Never.
Yeah.
This is a steel sculpture of a truck with a loader on the back, like a semi-trailer, and on top of the semi-trailer is a cement mixer. But the detail that's gone into this thing is quite extraordinary. Even the wheels are made out of solid lumps of steel. the turntable, and the actual truck itself. Look at the detail, it's unbelievable. It looks like all the components are actually cast. This is a very strange place. We've just come out from inside, of course, and yeah, someone spent a crazy amount of money. We're in the parking area at the moment. This is a reserved park. I'll just show you the other parking area, parking lot. And that just about sums this bloke up. He's very irreverent. Someone's parked in his space. Ooh, should we get into trouble? Oh, a nice cow. That's nothing. I'll show you something else. Not only is the cow, over there they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheep, and you can sit on them. There's seats. That's the North Star arm on Quantum. I'm hoping to get up there on the way down the Derwent estuary. I'll see how we go. Nice little steam launch, taking people on joyrides. This is the sheep seats. Lorraine wanted to be filmed sitting on the sheep seats. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Saturday night in Hobart. We're staying overnight tonight, and I believe there's a fireworks display later on, which is part of the boat show. Nobody seems to be coming or going on and off the ship, so I guess we're all buggered. You making a cup of tea, Lorraine?
I am.
Wow, that's good.
Before we go out to watch the fireworks.
Yeah.
We're having some contraband.
Contraband, are we? Okay, sounds good.
Waving at me. I'm waiting for the fireworks and I'm freezing. I've got 1 minute to go, hopefully. That's if they're on time.
You guys up in New South have got 40 whatever degrees, and here we're down to about 23 and we're all rugged up
17.
against the wind. 17 is it? Oh gosh.
Happy holidays.
Happy you too, mate. This boat belongs to a mate of Phil's, who we've hoped to see, but he's nowhere to be found. I've spoken to a couple of other people in the adjacent boat, and they know him, but they're not quite sure where he is. The fishing boat in the picture there, Lorraine and I are fairly certain it's the same hull as Mojo, a Roberts PCF 40. It's a professional fishing boat, but the hull is practically identical to Mojo's hull. Well, we've had a good look around. It's surprisingly cold.
It's only 16
Only
degrees.
16 or 17 degrees. So we're going to head back to our boat, that big one down there, and maybe have a visit to the Windjammer. It's 11:30 at night, and we're about halfway up the north of Hobart. The original idea was for us to go below Tasmania across to Adelaide, but because the weather was really bad south of Tasmania, the skipper decided he'd go up north, then cross top of Tasmania and then over to Adelaide.
We're just deciding whether we're going to leave the door open. I think it's a bit noisy.
You can't see anything, but you might be able to hear it.
There's a star up there.
Yep.
It's very pretty.
We've had a very strange night. The motion of the boat is quite weird. It sort of lurches and shudders. It doesn't roll gently from side to side. I don't know what's causing it, but it's quite weird. But still, we slept reasonably well. But it's still blowing like the clappers. The sea doesn't look really big. It's certainly lumpy, but it doesn't look huge. Who knows what the day will bring. I think we're about halfway down Bass Strait. We've got a day at sea today, and then tomorrow morning we arrive in Adelaide. Going ashore in Adelaide now. We're going for a train ride and a tram ride and anything that's a ride, we're going for it. North Star's going, taking people for rides. I think a lot of people aren't going to get off. There's still quite a mob on board. I'm on the water. This is Adelaide Station. We came in on the train and just on a loop of the city in the free bus. Had a look at all the buildings and stuff. It was quite interesting. We're about to hop on the train and head back to the outer harbour, back on our ship. Ready, my dear? All the people have gone back on the boat. Who's that fellow in the ball?
We just got back safe and sound on our little sojourn into Adelaide. It's quite manageable, although down the central district it's pretty busy. It's nice to get back out here where it's pretty quiet, and I think the tide has gone out because it looks a little bit shallow out there. There were a lot of very small boats out there this morning fishing. I think they must have come in because of the tide. It's very, very flat, which is a shame because it makes it a bit uninteresting. But when the sun's shining on the water, I suppose that's pretty. There's somebody coming in their little sailing boat. Anyway, it's lunchtime. Onward and upward.
So we bid farewell to Adelaide. We have 2 days at sea and then arrive back in Sydney on Friday morning. Quite a lot of people came down these great waters to see us off. So I guess it's a pretty imposing sight from down there. We're having a little bit of evening entertainment. Hello. This is the Xbox area. Very, very popular. These are 3 of the Dodging cars they've got. They've got 20 odd altogether, and they have a session of about an hour and a half, I think it is, every afternoon. And they just use the same area that they use for basketball, sports, dancing lessons, trapeze, you name it. This is a motorised sculpture that does different speeds during different times of the day. Sometimes it's moving slowly like this, other times it's quite fast. It's very clever. This area is called the 270 Lounge. These windows are right at the stern, and they have large panels that fit over the windows, all automatic, and they can project all sorts of designs on them of the night time. It's very, very pretty. Quite a big area. They have all sorts of talks and discussions. They've got a captain's question and answer this afternoon, which we'll probably be going to. Well, we're back home, all safely tied up. We've survived another voyage. It's about 6:45 in the morning. We're just about to go and have a little bit of brekkie, and then we've got to get off by about 8:30. I reckon it'll be a bit too early to ring George yet. Yeah, probably would be. You a good girl? Well. Oh, that's a good pussycat. Yeah. That's a good girl. Yeah. That's a good girl. Oh, you going to stay on holidays? Well. Oh, all the lovely sound effects. Yeah.